My name is Patricia. I'm 74 years old and I'm from Chicago, Illinois. Actually, for fun, I love to get out with my friends and walk around my area. I love to read and I love being an advocate for different concerns such as the environment and the climate. I was first diagnosed with endometrial cancer in November 2020. It was at home. I found out when I was at home after DNC, and the gynecologist called me at home. The stage for my endometrial cancer, I only found out after the surgery, which they moved very quickly to get me in December the 29th, 2020, and the stage was 1A. Symptoms, well, the symptoms started as spotting, and I thought it could have been something simple, female related, but they kept increasing. The amount of bleeding kept increasing, and I found a gynecologist who was not an OB-GYN. She was a straight gynecologist for women with difficult situations or unique or whatever, and I could tell by the look on her face that she knew that it wasn't going to be good results. For my spotting, I wasn't thinking about risk factors except age. I just figured it was something that could have been a yeast infection, a urinary tract, something or other. I knew very little about any possibility of cancer. It was, I've thought about this question so many times. It was a rock fall. It was a tsunami. It was a crash. I knew I was in wonderful hands, and I was on a very fast-moving train that went from 0 to 200 miles per hour. Was my reaction, and I just simply was trying to hang on to the train that was moving. So I didn't even know that I had the more serious type of cancer cells, which is carcinosarcoma, which is 5% of all uterine cancers. So it's something that even though I was stage 1A, I was grade 3 immediately because of the type of cancer cells. My diagnosis was definitely during COVID, like I said, end of November, towards the end of November 2020. My surgery was at the end of December 2020. So what was crazy about it is because of COVID, my sisters could not come visit. There was no vaccine, or they're just starting to do the vaccine. They moved as fast as they could to get the vaccine. But my wonderful friend who lives near me, still is my new sister, quote unquote, is the one who was with me for everything. My two sisters are my absolutely critical 100% main support system, with the caveat that I now have a wonderful new best friend who is a fantastic person. She's become my sister in gratitude for her help for all of my treatments. Sisters kept calling constantly. I also had wonderful, wonderful friends. I have a friend who sent me a prayer shawl, which is just lovely. I have things that my mother had made. I have a Afghan that my mother had made. I got candy from the same friend with the shawl. I got many, many cards from a lot of my friends. My sister's children also sent me cards, and that's what helped me get through. Is hearing one of my sister's daughters and stuff. They sent me one of those a bouquet. Always sent me flowers. It was wonderful. My life changed in a challenging way. I have ongoing fatigue. I have neuropathy in my toes. It's going to sound strange, but I had to give away most of my shoes because my toes were most unhappy with most of them, which means I get to go shoe shopping again. But on the other hand, it's my life has changed hugely psychologically. It's very difficult for me to feel safe medically, physically. We've had issues in my building. We had a water main break, and they were not telling us that they were shutting our water on and off, and I regard that as a safety issue. And they're not aware of safety issues. They just figure, oh, well, you can live without your water for a few hours. Well, you need to tell me ahead of time so I can put safe water away in bottles or jars or something like that. And when I said this was a safety issue, so that's how my life has changed. I've gotten to be even more, it's gone beyond assertive. I've gotten more, extra assertive, let's call it. So what's most important for people to know is that there's no screening tests, and women must be proactive, assertive with their doctors, medical community, when they have symptoms that are different. That's the thing I would say is that, number one, don't wait. If you don't like what you're seeing, or if you're not hearing, my very first situation was I saw my general doctor. She sent me to a gynecologist 2 months in advance. I said, I'm not going to wait 2 months. I found my own doctor within a month, or so could see me in a month. Hit the train running. That's what I would tell them. Number one, don't wait. Number two, do not be shy. If something doesn't feel right, don't be hesitant about your health. Your concerns are always valid. It's so important for me to be an advocate because I'm learning that like I said, I've been aware of cancer and women's cancer since I was 8 years old. My mother had her own mastectomy, but cancer is so much in part of our world. People are so aware of it in generalities. People know about breast cancer. I had no idea that uterine cancer was the fourth most common cancer in the United States today, that there are 66,000 women that are diagnosed. We lose 13,000 every year. Lose by people dying. For women who have a support system or a support system that isn't there working for them, to reach out, to try and find folks, my online support group, to reach out to the doctors that they do know, to try and find somebody somewhere. There's questions. I have posted to my online group numerous times, and sometimes people call me the reference person because I will post. There are nationwide cancer centers that are called the NCCN group, and I'm not sure what NCCN stands for. But anyway, there are major cancer centers that they can hear about, reach out to them. Unfortunately, sometimes you have to be the primary and only advocate for your own health. So I would say you can do it. And one of the phrases that is used a lot is, you've got this and we've got you. It's important for me to share my story today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. Today especially is important because this is an amazing opportunity for me to try and reach other people, other women, other men, other families, to say that EC is a challenge, but for folks who try and say, well, I'm scared, I want to put it off, but that's not good. If you have issues, ask about them. If you have concerns, ask about them. Don't say, well, no, this is nothing. I've been told it's in very good shape, so I appreciate that. So that's there are just many, many reasons for it's important for me to be here today. It's time to spot the signs. Spot her for EC.